As you can see behind me, this is the roof the shooter was on. It is a very low roof, and it is very close to the fairground. I mean, it's right here. The president's stage was right over there, 150 yards or something away. And it's no wonder people could see him, because this roof is low. This building is really close in, and it's totally exposed. I mean, right where I'm standing, there were gobs of people. So it's no wonder that lots of folks saw him. The question is, why didn't law enforcement see him get on the roof? Why didn't they see him on the roof? Why didn't they go up and confront him before he started shooting, or before he got on the roof when he was all in this area? It's so close together, it's hard to understand.
It's now been a little over a week since the Trump rally tragedy, and people are starting to get really curious. People are starting to show up at the site of the rally wanting to, do some snooping around themselves, wanting to look for answers themselves, including Senator Josh Hawley. But guess what? The site is heavily guarded by the FBI right now. In fact, there's tighter security at the crime scene right now than there was when Trump was speaking. Now, I get it. I cover these types of stories. I understand, the need to preserve a crime scene. I understand that the FBI is conducting an investigation. I understand they don't want people tampering around too much, moving around things. I get it. I understand why there's security at a crime scene. But this is a very unique situation, folks. This isn't a random incident that happened at your local park or something along those lines. Someone tried to take out the former and most likely future president of the United States. And what type of message does it send when you have tighter security now than you did when the president was speaking? You want to know the type of message it sends to me? It tells me that you're more concerned about guarding the truth about what happened than you were guarding Donald Trump. You're more concerned about protecting this crime scene and making sure that no one gets any answers. You're more concerned about that than you were protecting Donald Trump. Because if security was as tight during that speech as it is now, Thomas Matthew Crooks wouldn't have stood a chance in hell at getting anywhere close to Trump. Meanwhile, we have senators, we have politicians who can't get too close because the FBI is freaking out. I want to go ahead and roll this clip, and let's hear from Senator Josh Hawley about his experience at the scene yesterday.
You know, tonight whistleblowers have come forward to Missouri Senator Josh Hawley with very serious allegations, including that the rally was classified as only a loose security event, and many people protecting Trump were not even Secret Service agents at all. We need answers to that and a lot of other questions. Senator Josh Hawley, he actually traveled to Butler, Pennsylvania. He met with local officials to see firsthand the building and the sniper, the one they scaled, trying to assassinate President Trump. Senator Hawley joins us now. Senator, my understanding is it hardly was a pitch roof. I could look at it and tell you, as a guy that fell off a roof 3 stories, it's not a pitch roof, number one. Number two, if they knew it was a threat and they didn't want their agents on it, I could live with that. Why weren't there sniper eyes on it? Why weren't there agents surrounding the perimeter? Why did they keep telling us it's outside the perimeter? 130 yards is not outside the perimeter. The perimeter would be defined as any distance that any harm can be brought to a primary, in this case, Donald Trump, that you're protecting. So, and why are they blaming local law enforcement? That's not their job.
Well, I can tell you, Sean, I saw it today ahead of the Senate committee hearings on this. I went to go see myself. I went to the grounds. I went to the site because, frankly, I don't trust the FBI and the Secret Service to give us the real story. I want to see it myself. And you are right. That roof, it's hardly pitched at all. It's at a slight slant. And I'll tell you this, Sean, I couldn't believe how close it is to where Trump was. I stood right where Trump stood, looked over at that building. I mean, it is 100, 150 yards max. It is a clear line of sight from where President Trump was to that building. And the whistleblowers, Sean, what they have told me is unbelievable. It's that they were not patrolling the perimeter with canines as they were supposed to do. They were not patrolling the crowd. They weren't adequately keeping the area around the stage safe. And of course, we know that they didn't have eyes on that roof and that building. It's unbelievable.
It really is. Tell us what these whistleblowers are telling you that is most alarming to you.
Well, one thing is that most of the detail assigned to Trump that day and to that rally were not Secret Service, that most of them were from other federal agencies, including Homeland Security. And Sean, they weren't prepared. They didn't know what the procedures were. They did not have the site locked down. They were not adequately patrolling the perimeter. As you just said a moment ago, they were leaving huge gaps. Whistleblowers also tell us that they were allowing people to come into the grounds who weren't checked. They weren't monitoring who was getting up around the stage. I mean, it's unbelievable, Sean. And having been there today myself, I can tell you, it is so close. That building where the shooter fired from is so close to where Trump was. The idea that you could have all of this time elapse and nobody notices, no law enforcement notices he's on the roof. One other thing, Sean, whistleblowers tell me that law enforcement were actually on different channels, different radio communication channels. There were multiple different channels and they weren't coordinated. Sean, it's a total disaster. Somebody needs to resign for this.
Well, the Secret Service director needs to be fired. But they knew there was a suspect. You know, the guy had a rangefinder, for crying out loud. Who carries around a rangefinder with them? How stupid is this director? Well, we didn't want to put the officers at risk, so we put them inside the building, but not outside the perimeter of the building to make sure nobody got on top of the roof of the building. And why? You're telling me that it was mostly not Secret Service? And why are they blaming, again, local police? That's not their job. It's the job of the Secret Service. They don't have enough resources. Well, maybe we could take some money back from Ukraine and apply it to the Secret Service and protect every elected official.
And I tell you what, Sean, what local authorities told me here today, I talked to local law enforcement, and what they told me is they are angry that they're getting unfairly blamed. What they told me is, well, listen, we did our job. We did what we were asked to do. The Secret Service wasn't prepared. They didn't give them clear instructions. Locals are saying, don't roll this over onto us. You should take some responsibility, Secret Service, and they should. And your point about Ukraine is right. We can spend how many billions on Ukraine, but we can't protect an American president? I mean, what's going on around here? We've got to get the facts, Sean. And I tell you what, I won't rest until we get them.
No, I appreciate all of that. By the way, where are your fellow Democrats? Their silence is deafening to me. Why aren't they more outraged over this?
I don't know. I mean, I just don't get it at all. But I tell you one thing. Today, Sean, when I went to the site, the FBI has got more security on that site now than they did the night that Trump was shot at. I mean, the FBI, totally late. And they're trying to control the information. Sean, they tried to kick me off of the site. They said, get out of here. You shouldn't be on the site. We don't want you here.
Get out of here?
They are trying to control the information. Absolutely. They brought local cops, Sean. Get this. I'm there on site. I had permission from the local security operator to be there, and the FBI came out and said, you have got to leave. We do not want you here. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to control it.
I want to hear from the FBI director. I want to hear from the Secret Service
director. That is such a great point that they brought up about Ukraine. We're sending all of this money to Ukraine to protect Ukraine. Meanwhile, we can't protect our own president or the people running for president. We're spending more money to protect Zelensky than we are our own politicians. Make it make sense. You can't, because it doesn't make sense. But hearing these details, it's really disturbing. And some of this stuff I already knew, some of the stuff that I didn't. But, you know, we keep hearing from multiple sources that a lot of the Secret Service agents out there weren't even Secret Service at all. And I'm really trying to figure out how all of this happened. Because it's obvious they want to blame this on incompetence. But no one is this incompetent. It appears that there was only incompetence for this rally. I've heard from dozens of other people that said the security was way tighter at other rallies. So isn't it weird that at this rally, when there's obviously someone that has planned to do something horrible to Trump, isn't it weird that at this rally, This rally is the one with the messed up security, with no one doing their jobs. The other rallies were fine and there were no threats at the other rallies. But at this rally, when someone plans to climb up on a roof and take out Trump, all of a sudden no one knows how to do their job at all. No one. And I mean simple things like, different law enforcement agencies and stuff being on different radio waves. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not communicating with each other. The lack of communication, none of that makes sense. And we all know it doesn't make sense. And it's just getting hard to believe that all of these bad decisions were made. Listen, one mistake, okay, 2 mistakes, 3 mistakes, 4 mistakes, 5 mistakes. How many mistakes have we seen so far? I mean, I reported over on my main channel, Cinema Shogun, that there were officers there that day doing security that weren't even supposed to be there, and they've been let go. Officers who were supposed to be at another event said, you know what, whatever the hell, we're going to go to the Trump rally. And they were just let in and able to do security. So I'm really just, I don't want to get too far down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole here, folks. But there's obviously something going on here. This is more than incompetence, although that's what they want. They want you to blame incompetence. But I feel as if, listen, we're being watched, we're being listened to 24/7. Right now, in your home, your phone is spying on you, listening to your conversations. And when you get on your phone, the ads that you see on your phone will all be ads that are specifically targeted towards you because they listen to your conversations. Okay? Our messages on social media, they're read by the government. I mean, not every single message, but you get it. We're being watched. And you know how you agree to those user agreements on these social media sites and stuff? You're agreeing to have a lot of your data and stuff shared with the government, okay? When you're on Facebook Messenger, when you're on Instagram, when you're on Snapchat or any of these social media sites, your messages can and probably are being read and sifted through by the government. So I don't think it's far-fetched to believe that the government or someone higher up may have caught wind of a plot on Donald Trump that was supposed to happen at the rally. So they made necessary adjustments to, to assure that maybe it could all go down. Now, of course, the guy missed the shot. I don't think they were planning on that. But I do think there's a possibility that they knew of a threat. And, they didn't take the necessary precautions that they usually would because they wanted it to happen. Plus, we know that they were supposed to have heightened security because of threats from Iran. So Donald Trump was supposed to have more security at that rally than any of the rallies before. But instead, this was the least secured rally of all. The one rally where it just so happens there's a weirdo in the crowd that had plans to take out Donald Trump. And to see that the security now is tighter than it was during the rally, it just really sends that message, like I said earlier in the video. It really sends that message that guarding the truth, hiding whatever really happened, it's more important to them than guarding Donald Trump's life. Making sure that we don't get to the bottom of what really happened that day, that is way more important to them than protecting the life of Donald Trump. And that should tell you everything you need to know. You need to read between the lines, put 2 and 2 together here. I really don't feel like this. There's a lot of details coming out. I get it's confusing, but I don't think at the end of the day, what happened on Saturday or last Saturday, I don't think it's really that complicated. I think the truth is kind of right in front of us. But for now, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell. And if you find yourself getting too worked up about all of this, remember, it's just political cinema.